MarketStrategy.com.
Hi, this is Chris taking a look at the increasingly interesting and important trading session for Thursday, September 18th. This is a day that I have the economic announcements in front of you, but quite frankly, they don't matter. Not for a good portion of the world, and that is because today is the Scottish referendum vote. With that being the case, I feel that this market should probably ignore all of the British numbers, even the retail sales month over month, which is normally a very important number. That probably won't affect the markets at all. We have U.S. numbers, and they may come into play in the stock markets in the United States, such as the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow, etc. I believe that the FTSE is going to be dead quiet as we wait. I also believe that the British pound is going to be fairly quiet, although it looks like the smart money is trying to front run this trade. And we have, in fact, broken above the 1.63 level. So more on that here in a minute. Looking at the building permits, Yellen speaking out of the United States, and the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index coming out, I think that most of the action during the day is going to be US centric. Don't get me wrong, once we figure out what's going on in Scotland, things are going to be very interesting in the pound. The FTSE will be closed at that point, but you can pretty much bank on a gap in one direction or the other when we open on Friday. With that, let's take a look at some of the technical charts and see if we can get some type of strategy. The British pound. You can see that we've risen against the US dollar yet again. This is the daily chart. If you've been watching the videos, you know that the weekly chart formed a hammer. We're already starting to form a hammer again. There is a significant amount of support in this area. If this vote comes out in favor of the United Kingdom, staying with the United Kingdom, it's very possible that we see a very violent move higher. There are still people out there who are concerned and afraid. There are people out there who have been shorting for quite some time, and at the announcement will probably bail. That should cause a bit of a vacuum as we go higher. If the Scots do leave, this will be catastrophic for the pound, at least in the first few sessions. Highly unlikely, though. It looks more and more that perhaps the Scots are starting to lean back towards the Union. This is based upon polls, plus the fact, remember, it wasn't that long ago that Quebec went through the same thing in Canada. And the undecideds overwhelmingly voted to stay with the status quo. That's what I think is going to happen in Scotland. With that, I actually am already front-running buying calls and long the spot Forex market, but you can expect a lot of opportunities to present themselves if we do, in fact, get good news. You can see that the S&P 500 has been a bit quiet and soft during the session, forming a shooting star. With that, though, I think we simply are staying within this area here, and that a buying opportunity should present itself given a little bit of a pullback. I'm looking to buy calls at lower levels to show signs of support on the short-term charts. With the FOMC minutes coming out later this session, the one I'm recording on for Wednesday, this chart could look a bit different. If we are above 2010, the S&P 500 will go much higher. If we fall and stay above 1980, I'm looking for an opportunity to go long via calls. Lastly, I'm looking at the gold markets in this video, and the reason is we formed a shooting star for the session. I'll go ahead and zoom in here a little bit, but we formed the shooting star in the session on Tuesday, and then Wednesday's been kind of soft, and 1240 to me is an important number because you can draw a pretty significant support and resistance line right at this level. With that, I think that we could see some weakness in this market. We've broken down, we've tested it, we're testing it. Can we drop? I think at that point, it's very likely that we go down to about 1200. Gold looks soft and the dollar looks strong, so the two normally go hand in hand. With that, I'm buying puts in the gold market, and that will be especially true if we see a negative reaction in gold after the FOMC minutes on Wednesday. With that, I have taken a look at the increasingly important Thursday session, September 18th, with the Scottish vote.